Good afternoon, everyone. So Mkango is focused on the Songwe Hill rare earths project in Malawi. We've been working on the project for the last 10 years. It's one of the very few advanced stage rare earth projects globally. And we're currently completing a bankable feasibility study, and that's fully funded by our strategic partner, Talaxis. So rare earths, the major growth story going forward is in the electric vehicle market. So around 90% of electric vehicles use a rare earth permanent magnet, and each one of those permanent magnets contains about 30% neodymium, which is one of the key sort of rare earths. And each electric vehicle uses around 0.7 kilograms of neodymium praseodymium, increasing to around a kilogram over the next few years. So taking electric vehicle forecasts growing to 32 million by 2030, and with the increase in NdPr per electric vehicle as well, that translates into an additional demand of 25,000 tons per year of NdPr. And just to put that into context, the current market is around 35,000 tons, so it's a very significant increase in demand. We're looking to produce around 2,000 tons per year of NdPr. So there's a lot of growth in the market and very few advanced stage projects which will be positioned to take advantage of that. There's also a lot of demand coming through from wind power. The International Energy Authority is forecasting with doubling of installations over the next 5 years. Each 3 megawatt wind turbine requires around 1.7 tons of rare earth permanent magnets. So again, significant growth. So as I mentioned before, Songwe Hill is our project and currently completing a BFS. We're working in Malawi, been working there for over 10 years now. And it's always been a very good operating environment. There's a lot of infrastructure developments happening in the country, rail, road, and power, and that gives us a major competitive advantage versus our peers. It means we can do more in the country than other countries in terms of value add to our product. So we'll be exporting a mixed rare earth carbonate as opposed to a mineral concentrate. So the benefit of that is it's higher value. We're not exporting impurities. We have a lot more options as to what we do with that concentrate. We're very focused on sustainable development and CSR. We're leaders in the country. We're founding members of the Malawi Transparency Initiative, and we're also a founding member of the Rare Earth Industry Association. We're also focused on downstream via subsidiary Magneto. So we recently invested in a rare earth recycling business based in the UK, and that complements what we're doing in the upstream side of things. We've got a very strong financial position, so as of September, consolidated cash of around $10 million US. So the timeline, we put out our first resource in 2012, PFS 2015, updated resource 2019, and we're now doing the feasibility study, and we're looking to get that done within the next year. We have a strong strategic partner, Talaxis, a subsidiary of Noble Group, very strong relationships in Asia and into China. Talaxis have invested £12 million to date in the project for 49% interest. They have a development option whereby they will fund the equity and arrange project finance to develop the mine and processing facility for an additional 26%. So Mkango would end up with a 25% carried interest to production. And Talaxis are also funding the downstream business as well, including the recycling. So this was a project first identified in the 30s. JICA and MMAJ drilled out a small historical resource of 1.4 million tons. We increased that to 32 million tons in 2012. PFS was based on that. And then 2019 drilling program, we increased that to around 50 million tons. This isn't a narrow vein deposit. It's broad zones of mineralization, fluorocarbonate mineralogy, which means it's easy to leach. And it's not a weathered deposit, so what we see at surface, we're likely to see at a few hundred meters depth. Just to give an image of what we've done with the resource, the pre-feasibility study on the left, it was based on the green, which is the indicated resource, and the grey, which is the inferred, was treated as waste in the mine plan. And so PFS was based on 500,000 tonnes per year throughput for around 17 years. On the right is the results of the recent drilling program. So we've established a very significant measured resource, so that could actually sustain the operations for about 15 years just on the measured resources alone based on the PFS rates. But now we're looking at potential to expand the operations and have a bigger project underpinned by very substantial measured indicated resource. There's no inferred resource within that main sort of pit area, so the stripping ratio will come down significantly. So Malawi, we've had a very good experience in Malawi, been working there for over 10 years. Very supportive government, and I describe it as an emerging mining destination. There's a new railway line which crosses the southern part of the country, and that is unlocking the mineral potential. So, for example, when it was drilled by the Japanese groups in the late 80s, Songwe, there wasn't that railway line or road network. So the Chira alkaline province in the southern part of Malawi has huge potential to be a major producer of rare earths, and that railway line is key to unlocking that mineral potential. So we have very good access to infrastructure. So Blantyre there is the major commercial centre in Malawi. There's an international airport there. The railway line runs through Malawi, and there's a railhead there. It's about an hour and a quarter's drive from the site, hour and a half's drive, and roads are paved for most of the way. The last 13 kilometres is a gravel dirt road, which will be upgraded as part of the development, but really very good logistics. And that means we can do a lot more on the site in terms of processing. So we will bring in reagents along the railway line. We'll have a sulfuric acid plant and a processing facility at the mine site, and we'll export a value-added, purified mixed rare earth carbonate. We're looking at renewable energy sources. So we envisage a solar storage facility to power the operations, as well as grid power as well. And Malawi is fortunate to have hydropower. So we're targeting fully renewable sources of power. We're also looking at options for separation. So we're reviewing sites outside Malawi to complete a separation. So that'll be included as part of the scope of the feasibility study, and we'll look at those options at completion. Strong focus on CSR. Social license is obviously very key. So we've had numerous projects over the last few years, focus on education, local infrastructure, and we have very good support from local communities and leading the way in Malawi in terms of sustainable development and CSR. So a very big focus for the company. We also invested in a University in Birmingham spin-out called Hypermag, which is focused on rare earth magnet recycling. So that complements the upstream side of the business. Ultimately, Hypermag will extract rare earth powders from hard disk drives, electric vehicles, and then remake the magnets from recycled material. If primary material is required, then Songwe can provide that material. So it complements the activities. So in summary, strong rare earth price outlook, fully funded BFS underway, great jurisdiction to operate, lots of infrastructure, experienced team with a group in the technical team who've operated rare earth projects before and built rare earth projects, downstream growth opportunities, which increases marketing flexibility, and a share price pretty much all underpinned by cash. Thank you very much.